strike to destroy North Korea's nuclear capabilities?
No, because China has total control over them, and we have total control over China. If we had people that knew what they're doing, which we don't, we have no leadership in this country. We have China because of trade. They're sucking our money out of us. They're taking our money like candy from a baby. And China can come out and, frankly, they will, you know, they say they don't have that much control over North Korea. They have total control, because without China, they wouldn't be able to eat. So China has to get involved, and China should solve that problem, and we should put pressure on China to solve the problem.
Because, as you know, there are, almost 1 million North Korean troops north of the demilitarized zone, almost 1 million South Korean troops south of the demilitarized zone, Seoul, the capital.
And we have 28,000 soldiers right in the middle.
Right in the middle of all that.
And by the way, we get paid nothing. We get paid peanuts.
Would you pull them out?
Well, I would want South Korea to pay us a lot of money. We're doing a lot of, what are we doing? I just ordered 4,000 television sets, 4,000. They come from South Korea. South Korea is a money machine. They pay us peanuts. We're defending them. And I have many friends from South Korea. They buy my apartments. I do business with them. But South Korea should pay us, and pay us very substantially, for protecting them.
So you want China basically to handle the North Korea problem?
They can handle it so easily. Now, they don't say that. You know, they say, well, they're not that easy, they're not that easy. They're taunting us, okay? They're playing games with us. I do it all the time. I mean, that's the way I deal in business. It's like they're playing games with us. China should solve that problem. And if they don't solve that problem, we should be very tough on them with trade, meaning start charging them tax or start cutting them off. You'd have China collapse in about 2 minutes. So
I've heard
we have great power over China. We just don't know how to use it.
Let's talk about another issue in the news right now. Senator Ted Cruz, he's your main rival in Iowa, according to all the polls right now. All of a sudden, this whole issue, the fact that he was born in Canada, has come up, whether or not he's a natural-born citizen. You know, the Constitution says no person except a natural-born citizen shall be eligible to the office of president. Do you believe Senator Ted Cruz is a natural-born citizen?
I don't know, to be honest, and I like him a lot. And I don't like the issue. I don't like even bringing it up. And, you know, it wasn't me that brought it up. It was the Washington Post doing an interview.
They asked you a question.
One of the questions they asked me was this question. And, you know, they went with it. And I wasn't very aggressive with the answer, except one thing. You can't have somebody running if the Democrats are going to, at some point, and one of them threatened to bring a suit a long time ago. But how can you have a nominee running, you know, against a Democrat, and whoever it may be, probably Hillary Clinton, because she'll probably escape the email problem, which is disgusting that she's able to, because other people have, for doing far less, have had very, very major consequences. It's been terrible, but it's probably going to be Hillary. So how do you run against the Democrat, whoever it may be, and you have this hanging over your head if they bring a lawsuit? A lawsuit would take 2-3 years.
He says he's a natural-born citizen because his mother was U.S.-born, a U.S. citizen, and as a result, he's a natural-born citizen.
Well, I hope he's right. I don't, you know, I want to win this thing fair and square. I don't want to win on this point. What the Democrats are saying, though, is he had a passport.
He says he didn't have a passport.
He had a Canadian passport.
He says his aides say he didn't have a passport.
Well, I've heard that he had
He may have been eligible for a Canadian passport.
I think that's wonderful if he didn't. Yeah. And I never understood how he did, but everybody tells me he had a joint passport.
He had a Canadian birth certificate because he was born in Canada.
Well, here's what I think. What I think I'd do, I'd go and seek a declaratory judgment if I was Ted.
What does that mean?
It means you go to court.
Which court?
You go to federal court to ask for what's called a declaratory judgment. You go in seeking the decision of the court without a court case. You go right in. You go before a judge. You do it quickly. It can go quickly. Declaratory judgment. It's very good. I've used it on numerous occasions. I've been pretty good with it, actually. So when there's a doubt, because there's a doubt, what Ted doesn't want to happen is he doesn't want to be in there. I mean, I think I'm going to win. I'm leading in every poll by a lot. But I have a lot of friends in the Republican Party. I have a lot of friends all over the place, all right? If Ted should eke it out, and I hope that doesn't happen, and he's got this cloud over his head, I don't think it's going to be possible for him to do very well. I don't think it's actually possible for the Republicans to let it happen because he'll have this cloud. So what you do is you go in immediately, like tomorrow, this afternoon, you go to federal court, you ask for a declaratory judgment that you want the court to rule. And once the court rules, you have your decision.
But that could take a long time for a court to...
No,
because I don't think the Supreme Court has never really ruled on what is a natural-born citizen.
There's this doubt. People have doubt. Again, this was not my suggestion. I didn't bring this up. A reporter asked me the question. But the Democrats have brought it up. And you had somebody, a congressman, say no matter what happens, we're going to be suing on this matter. That's a tough matter for Ted. Again, I didn't bring it up, Wolf. This is brought up, and this was asked to me as a question. And it's not the first time it's been asked, but it's being asked by a lot of different people to a lot of different people that are running.
Because you know your critics are saying you're doing to Ted Cruz what you tried to do to President Obama, where he was born, his birth certificate.
Who knows about Obama?
His mother was a U.S. citizen, born in Kansas. Was he a natural-born citizen?
Who knows? Who knows? Who cares right now? We're talking about something else, okay? I mean, I have my own theory on Obama. Someday I'll write a book. I'll do another book. It'll do very successfully. But look, with Ted, he should ask for a declaratory judgment, because that will clear it all up. And I'm doing this for the good of Ted. I'm not doing it for me, because I like him and he likes me. We have a good relationship. This would clear it up. You go into court, you ask for a declaratory judgment, the judge will rule, and once the judge rules that he's okay, then the Democrats can't bring a lawsuit later on.
He also says he's tougher on illegal immigration in the United States than you are. You say you will deport all the undocumented immigrants in the United States, 11 million, 12 million, as many as they are. But the good ones, you say, can come back to the United States. He says he's not letting any of the immigrants come back to the United States.
Ted was in favor of amnesty. Him and Marco Rubio have been fighting about who's weaker. Now all of a sudden, and I was watching Ted the other day, and it was very interesting. He said, and we must build a wall, okay? And my wife said, darling, he just said build a wall. That's the first person that said build a wall. I've been saying it for 5 years. But he said, and we will build a wall. So now he's taking my idea for the wall. I'm glad he's taking it. I think it's the right thing to do. The problem is I'll build the wall, it'll be a right wall. These people, the politicians, don't know how to build walls. They don't know how to build anything. But I'll build a wall, and I'll have Mexico pay for the wall. But all of a sudden, they're trying to come over into my territory. No, we will get people out, and the people that come back will come back legally. They will come back legally. We'll have a country again. We're going to have strong borders. Border Patrol people are fantastic. I got to know them very well. But we're going to have a wall. Now, I heard just the other day, Ted said, he never said about wall before. All of a sudden, he's talking about a wall. And I don't blame him.
But he says he's not going to let any of those illegal immigrants come back to the United States.
I think you should let them come back. If they're very good people, you let them come back legally. I want people to come back. You know, I'm building a wall, but I want people to come in. I want immigrants to come in, but they have to come in legally. And I want a lot of people to come in. I want to have really smart people, really good people, really hard workers come back in, but they have to come in legally. So I want people to come back into the country.
Let's talk a little bit about the wall you want to build. How long would it take to build that wall?
It will go very quickly, and I would get the environmental impacts. You know, part of the reason the wall wasn't built, they couldn't get an environmental impact statement approved. Can you believe it? The environmental impact statement for a wall where we're looking for, you know, you could almost say military purposes, and that way you avoid it. As an example, in the South China Sea, China's building islands, massive islands that are being, you know, military bases. They're taking out and they're dredging the sea. They're dredging the ocean. They don't go about...
You say Mexico's going to pay for the wall.
Mexico's going to pay.
Are they going to put the money up front, or eventually you're going to send them a bill? How do you do that?
No, they'll pay in one of 3 or 4 different ways.
How?
Including I'll charge them a tariff. Look, Mexico, I'm very friendly with Mexico. I employ thousands of people that you know, Mexicans, they're great people. They like me. I'm doing very well, by the way, with the Hispanics. And you saw in Nevada, I'm leading in the polls with the Hispanics because I create jobs. I'm going to take jobs back from China. I create jobs. But here's the thing. Mexico's making a fortune. You look at the trade deficit that we have with Mexico. They're making a fortune. Ford's going to build a $2.5 billion plant in Mexico. Nabisco is moving their big plant from Chicago to Mexico.
So how do you get them to pay for a wall?
Very simple.
Because they say they're not going to pay for a wall.
That's good. Then we'll start taxing their goods coming into this country, and they'll pay. They're making a fortune. Now, the wall is peanuts compared to the kind of money they're making. That's why they're going to pay. Now, when I say that to politicians, they don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm a business guy. I'm a really good business guy. When I say to politicians that Mexico is going to pay for the wall, they all smile. They think I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. Mexico's going to pay. The reason they're going to pay is they're making a fortune off of the United States, far more than the cost of the wall.